I've never actually been one to be interested in high school dramas outside of Skins, the UK version, and some seasons of Degrassi. Some shows that have captured my attention in the beginning, however, fizzled rather quickly due to tired storylines and outrageous things you just wouldn't see high schoolers do. I'm looking at you, Riverdale. The first season of Euphoria, however, was different. It tells the story of a high school drug addict named Rue and how her choices impact her life and those around her. Not your typical teen drama, each episode contained a ton of character development and surprising conflicts that the viewer could never really anticipate. Every single episode, I was always feeling a range of emotions while simultaneously feeling anxiously excited about what was going to happen next. I was wanting more until I hit episode 8 and realized I needed my next serotonin hit of entertainment. Luckily, I literally started the show just before season 2 premiered, so I had a fresh set of opinions and excitement going into this next season. Fast forward to the finale of Euphoria season 2, and many viewers, as well as myself, are left confused by what we had just watched. The show we had once loved for its originality had just become like another typical high school show. The amazing cinematography and music, as well as a star-studded group of actors, were not exactly enough to hide the many plot holes and character arcs that were thrown out the window. I'd like to describe it as a beautiful train wreck.
My name is Miko and I'm a binge watcher trying to find good ass shows. Sorry if I sound nasally, I am recovering from a cold my 6-year-old niece gave me. Now that you kind of got my initial thoughts on season 1, I want to get into the beautiful train wreck that is season 2 of Euphoria. This video will be based on 2 parts featuring what made this season of Euphoria beautiful versus what made it a train wreck, because that's what it is. Obviously, given I'm describing season 2, there will be a decent amount of spoilers, but keep that in mind. If you're already clicking on this video watching, you're probably a pissed off Euphoria fan anyway. So starting off on what made this season good, there were a lot of memorable scenes that live in my mind rent-free. The bathroom scene when all the girls are talking about the play, Oklahoma, when it's not really Oklahoma, and Sydney Sweeney just steals the show with this moment that actually doesn't even happen.
But we were a bad way.
Bitch, you better be joking. Are you okay, Kat?
No, yes, fuck it, I am in love with Nate Jacobs and he's in love with me, and you know you fucking give me that look, Maddie, because I didn't fuck your boyfriend. You two were broken up for 3 weeks and 3 days before we even had sex, so I didn't betray you.
Because as a viewer, you're thinking she's just revealing all this and you're just in shock as to her saying this in front of Maddie. And you think she's gonna get her ass beat in the bathroom. But in reality, that doesn't happen, and there were other memorable moments. I really liked how they went back into Cal's past to really just kind of put everything together as to how he became who he is, even though who he is a absolute terrible father and person altogether. Lexies' play in the last 2 episodes, people had mixed opinions on it. Some people didn't like it. I actually quite enjoyed it. Some parts of it were kind of out there, probably weird that this high schooler was given that much amount of freedom to put certain things on stage, but I like how things were executed, and I like how Maddie and Cassidy finally got to fight a little bit, even though we didn't really get to see that. A lot of people on Twitter hate that, but you know. Although this season does have problems, I'd be lying if I didn't say that you can't tell the amount of effort and work that's gone into it. I mean, if you look at the beautiful cinematography of certain scenes that kind of tell hidden messages between Rue and her father, as well as Sydney Sweeney, aka Cassie, having her moments, and of course the music that's placed in proper scenes, especially with the collaboration of Labyrinth and Zendaya, as well as the actors that make the show what it is. Not one moment did I say to myself, that is a terrible actor, why are they here on this show? and when I think that's where I gotta dip. But with Euphoria, every actor, actress lays it down on the line, and you can really just see the passion come through and the character come through. Something that's always memorable is just how well Zendaya portrays Rue as a true addict, in which she's going through withdrawals, how she treats her family, and it's really painful to see as a viewer to the point where it moves you. And I think that's something Sam Levinson does really well. Sydney Sweeney, Zendaya, Emmys all around, especially for the guy who plays Nate Jacobs. I never knew I could hate a character so much, but enjoy seeing him cause such catastrophe every single week. So the actors, the cinematography, and the music overall make Euphoria what it is. But the writing, however, it's pretty shit. So for me, when it comes to shows, what I always find to be the most annoying thing ever is when more plot holes are opened than were originally supposed to be closed. Here, let me just ramble off a bunch of new ones. What's going on with Rues and Jules' relationship, and was Elliot only there to break them up? Why did Nate just give Jules the disc randomly when he was supposed to be blackmailing her in season 1? And is Lori really not going to steal and sell Rue to the streets for her 10 G's? What is going on? I mean, did you really think that people weren't gonna notice these things? I mean, there's a drug addict that literally lost $10,000 worth of drugs to someone that said they were gonna sell her.
Rue, if you screw me, I'll have you kidnapped and sold to some real sick people. I always find a way to make my money back.
And my thing is, I thought that the show was gradually redeeming itself. A few episodes before the finale, Rue actually went to Lori's house for help. Wrong decision, obviously. And Lori takes her in, and Lori does kind of drug her up, clean her up, and just lock away the house so she can stay there. Basically, keeping her promise of, I'm going to sell you to people. And Rue finds a way to escape, which you can argue it's realistic or not, but I think she found a way to escape in the most realistic way possible, if you want to call it that. But I'm really surprised that this didn't come up again in the finale. At the finale, Rue just walks out of the school play as if nothing happened, and everyone assumed that she was just gonna get snatched up in a van. That would have been a way to end a season, but that did not happen. I guess Rue's just gonna live a happy life and Lori's never gonna go after her. And Nate Jacobs is just a nice guy to Jules now, and they might end up together in the next season. Not only just the random plot holes that have originated from this, probably a few more I can't even think of, but those were my main ones. This season focused on a main plot that I was tired of after 2 to 3 episodes, and that main plot is the plot of Nate and Cassie. The first episode was, wow. The opening episode of season 2 had me thinking, this is really scandalous. Oh my god, this is happening. But after a while, it just becomes tired, and I was expecting there to be more focus on other characters that I cared about, like Kat or Jules, or literally anybody else at this point. It's just a tired storyline that I didn't expect to be the main thing of this season, of a friend sleeping with the friend's ex-boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Like, who cares? It's the same old high school trope I didn't expect to see in this season, because in season 1, things felt very complex and realistic. Not that this isn't realistic, but I've seen it so many times. How many times am I supposed to see the drama of someone sleeping with someone else's boyfriend? Why? I found myself not caring about these characters as much as I cared about them in the first season, and that's because I was seeing these two every single week. I don't care about them hooking up. I don't care about them fighting. I literally would rather see Kat do her dance in front of the camera. Jesus Christ. Adding on to that, I just feel like certain characters and their storylines were ignored, while simultaneously throwing in new random characters that you assume will make an impact, but they really don't. For instance, you throw in Elliot and Lori and you see them and think, wow, these guys are gonna spice things up, they're gonna add some drama to the show. You never know. In which a lot of people, myself included, assume that Elliot was working with Lori to kind of set up Rue, a naive drug addict, to kind of just, sell her and get her, because he made certain comments that gave you the impression he was trying to set her up, but that is not what happened at all. They were kind of just pointlessly there. What can I say? They were just pointlessly there. And although you have beautiful cinematography, that does not disregard you from having creative editing and storytelling. If anything, you should be paying your trailer editor 10 times the amount of your actual editor. How many times do I have to see Rue's dad's funeral play in an episode? How many many times do I have to see it? I feel like I saw it at least 2-3 times an episode, and it's just taking away time for more important plot lines and characters. It was so frustrating. I know it's sad. I know it's supposed to have impact, but how many times do I have to see Rue's dad's funeral? Not to mention the random nudity. Sydney Sweeney, I love you, but I don't need to see it 24/7. And as well as Cal's hoo-ha, it was out for like a majority of his main scene. And it was like, just put it away. You're talking. You're giving the eulogy with that thing out, man. Come on. Dear Lord. Everyone's memeing on it still. Elliot's song in the finale for 4 minutes. Why are you singing for 4 minutes in the finale? It's the finale, sir. I was looking at my watch the entire time going like, it's the finale, I don't care. Overall, I just feel as though there's just a lack of creativity in the writing. And I know Sam Levinson writes 99.9% of the scripts of everything, and Zendaya probably writes a little bit, but I would recommend, Sam, if you're watching, you probably are, hire more writers. In my opinion, Rue is the best written character, given that is Sam Levinson portraying his story through Rue as a drug addict that got clean and is going through this journey, but he needs to hire other writers because things just don't make sense a lot of the time. Like, why is Kat suddenly randomly gaslighting her boyfriend when she doesn't seem like the kind of person to do that?
I have a brain disorder.
What?
It's the rest of the sentence.
I'm confused.
I think it's terminal.
You've been thinking a lot about our relationship because you have a terminal brain disorder?
Yeah, I just keep thinking hospital visits, and maybe I'll have to get out of school, stay home, the little time I have left.
What is this terminal brain disorder called?
No, because you're gonna Google it and then read about it, and I'm just gonna see it on your face.
I feel like you're lying to me.
Lying about a terminal brain disorder?
And there's other times where a bunch of scenes just feel rushed, or they feel like there could be more, which is why maybe you should consider expanding to a 10 to 12 episode season to kind of flesh things out more. Because season 2 wasn't the worst thing in the world if you had maybe given it more time. Kind of an up and down thing, in which episode 1, 10 out of 10. Episode 2 and 3, kind of going downhill a bit, and then it went up again, and then you kind of see where I'm going with this. If you gave yourself more writers and time to flesh things out, then you'd have another masterpiece like season 1. A pretty coat of paint of cinematography and music cannot cover up terrible writing. I am sorry, Sam. I think what also contributed to this train wreck of a season is just the rumors about the Offset drama. Apparently Barbie, who plays Kat, had a problem with how Sam Levinson wrote her character for the season in which she has an eating disorder, and she tended to disagree with that, in which Sam just wrote her out of the show, apparently. I'm not even kidding, she probably has maybe 5 minutes or less worth of lines. If that, she does not appear very often, and if she does, the dialogue it's terrible. Hunter, who plays Jules, might also be having problems with Jacob, who plays Nate. Maybe this is why we didn't see too much of a Jules storyline, because it revolved around a lot of Nate. But that's just disappointing, because Jules was one of the most interesting characters last season. And it upsets me to see people that just constantly shit on her character for no reason. It's like, well, she's not given the proper screen time and story to really flesh things out. I mean, all we know her for this season is just randomly hooking up with Elliot for who knows for what reason, and just not noticing that Rue was high the entire time. Which I think, again, is another out of character interesting. So, what's next for Euphoria? Season 3 of Euphoria is rumored to be set for 2024, and I have mixed feelings on that. 2024? Take this with a grain of salt because I found this on Twitter. Apparently it takes 1 month of filming per episode with no exact deadlines, which is kind of weird because actors have said that they spend at least 14 to 16 hours a day on set, and if that's the case, then why does it take approximately 2 years to get this out? And if this season is really set to be released in 2024, my god, these high schoolers are gonna look really old. I mean, is this why they got rid of Ashtray, because of how much he aged compared to the first season to this season? Regardless of how season 2 has turned out, I'm holding out hope that season 3 will be better. Because again, there's an amazing cast of actors that are gonna win a ton of Emmys in the coming years because of this show and other work they're doing. The cinematography, again, beautiful, always on point, with the music to add to it. Everything overall, outside of the writing, is very high value, production worthy. We can only hope that this won't be the next Riverdale and that Sam Levinson takes constructive feedback into account and really just add more writers to help you out, flesh out the characters, flesh out the story, make things make sense, but also keep the viewer on their toes, as you did in season 1. I never knew what was going to happen, and that's why I really enjoyed it so much. Those are my overall thoughts of why I think season 2 of Euphoria is an absolute train wreck. But what are your thoughts? Did you enjoy the season? Season 1 better? What do you think could be improved? What lives in your mind rent free? And are you going to watch season 3 when it comes out in like 2 years? If you're interested in more commentary videos, then this is the right place to be. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you in the next video.